Hello, my name is Jackson Carpenter, and today I'm going to be going over how to multiply matrices with a calculator. So let's start by defining a matrix. A matrix is any rectangular array made up of rows and columns. So here are some simple examples of matrices. Next, let's go over the rules and basics of matrices. The first thing you look at whenever you see a matrix are the rows and columns. Rows always run horizontally and columns always run vertically. The next thing you need to know is that matrices are commonly referred to with a capital letter. So an example of this would be matrix A being this 2x2 matrix and matrix B being this 2x2 matrix. This allows for multiplication to be easily written out. For example, matrix A times matrix B. And here's a little stick figure that I drew of a guy saying math is fun. So how do you know if two matrices can be multiplied? Let's look at some examples. Here you can see matrix A is a 2x2 matrix and matrix B is also a 2x2 matrix. So when you write this out, you see that the two inside numbers are the same, 2 and 2. If the two inside numbers are the same, you can always multiply the matrix. However, if they are different, you cannot multiply the two together. You can also tell the outcome of the multiplication by looking at the two outside numbers. You see a 2 on the outside here and a 2 on the outside here, meaning that the combination after multiplication will be a 2x2 matrix. So down here you can see a 2x2 matrix A and a 3x3 matrix B. When you try and multiply them, you see that the 2 and the 3 on the inside are not the same, so they cannot be multiplied. The next thing you're going to need to know is how to multiply matrices using a calculator. So you're going to want to follow these steps. You're going to want to start by clicking second x1. This pulls you up to this tab here. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hit this left button once to access the edit menu, and then you're going to want to hit enter to edit matrix A. This is going to pull you up to a screen where you can enter the number of rows and columns in your matrix. So for example, if you were doing a 2x2 matrix, you're going to want to hit enter after pressing 2 twice. This pulls up a place for you to enter the numbers in your matrix. Let's say for example, the numbers in your matrix were 1, 2, 3, 4. All you have to do is press the numbers, hit enter to enter them into the slots, and continue. After you've created your matrix, you're going to want to hit second quit. This pulls you back to the home menu. The next thing you're going to want to do is press second x1 again to access the matrices that you've already created, and you press enter to pull them into the calculator screen. For example, if you're multiplying this matrix by 2, you would just simply press the multiplication button and the 2 to multiply it together and enter to get your answer. So now that you know the basics and how to multiply matrices, let's look at some examples. We'll start with an easy one. So for example 1, you have matrix A, 12, 2, 1, 4, which is a 2x2 matrix. And let's say that the question is asking you to multiply it by 5. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to press second x1 to access the matrix page, edit, and then enter to access matrix A. You're going to want to hit 2x2 and type in your numbers. 12, enter, 2, enter, -1, enter, and 4. Then second quit, and the next thing you're going to want to do is access the matrix page again, A times 5, and that will give you your answer. 60, 10, -5, 20. The next example we're going to look at is how to multiply two matrices together. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start by looking at your matrices, A and B, and you're going to want to decide how many rows and how many columns there are. So you're going to want to go to your matrix page again, edit matrix A, you're going to see it's a 2x2 matrix. You're going to type in your numbers, -13, 11, -15, and 2. Second quit. Second x1 again, edit, go to matrix number 2. It's also a 2x2 matrix, so you're going to want to enter your numbers again, 9, 16, 14, and 18. You're going to want to hit second quit, and you're going to want to pull up the matrices, enter, multiply sign, and then select matrix B, and this will give you your answer. 37, negative 10, negative 107, and negative 204. Another example that you can have when multiplying two matrices together is two bigger matrices. For example, you see matrix C and matrix D are both 3 by 3 matrices. So if your question is asking you to multiply matrix D by matrix C, you're going to want to start by going to second x1 again, go down to matrix C, even though it doesn't really matter, on the Edit tab. Press 3 by 3, 1, negative 4, 7, 10, 12, 8, negative 11, 6, negative 9. Now that you've entered your numbers, you're going to want to hit second quit, second x1 again, go down to matrix D, hit enter. You're going to want to go to edit first. This is also a 3 by 3 matrix, so what you're going to want to do is type in your numbers, negative 5, 6, 10, 1, 2, 1, 3, 9, 11. Now that you have your numbers entered, you're going to want to quit out of that screen again. You're going to want to pull up your matrix tab, select matrix C, multiply it by matrix D, and you get your answer. 12, 61, 83, negative 14, 156, 200, 34, negative 135, and negative 203. The final example that we're going to be going over today is a problem with a 1 by 2 matrix and a 3 by 3 matrix. So before you even start multiplying here, you're going to want to write out the rows and columns, and you're going to see that the 1 and the 3 are not the same. So you can save yourself some work by realizing that these two cannot be multiplied together, so there is no solution. And that about wraps it up. That covers everything that we'll be talking over, and have fun with this.